Look, man, from your scalp to your feet, I need a question when you speak. Let me ask you something. When you go to the therapist, you get therapy. When you create art, that's therapy. Is creating art a better therapy, in your opinion, than the therapy we get from a traditional session in person?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know, man.
Why?
I went to therapy like when I was going through
I
that
just had
breakup.
my first session today. That's why I brought this up. So I,
Yeah,
I just
fair
started
enough.
therapy today.
Therapy is like a new thing for me too. I mean, like I never, had the means to go see a therapist or anything like that, but I did go see one when that breakup was happening, and it was nice to talk to somebody that was like not a friend or a family member. You know what I mean? And kind of like have a sounding board to like just kind of like let
Non-biased kind of thing.
I
yeah, like let somebody know how I was
get
feeling. But at
I
the end of it, like after the end of like, sorry man, at the end of like my 4 sessions that I had or whatever, she was like, "You're fine. Like you don't need therapy." And I was like, "Okay, well, that's cool." So
I don't even
so
think
she
I'm pretty sure I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
but I can tell
therapists
you that.
aren't supposed to say that to you, but I think the
You
most
know what I can
common
tell you that.
misconception is that like it's just talking, and like cats have to go to a whole lot of school, take a gang of tests, get all sorts of like random strategies and books and pyramids and diagrams that they can you can kind of utilize in your own ways. It's almost like them giving you a paper and you fill it out with your own stuff, and when you look at it you're going to be able to solve the equation. And I feel like that's so much deeper than anything you can get from just talking to somebody who's a peer or a friend or something like that. And to answer your question, I don't think there are two things that you could compare. It's like comparing a dessert to a dinner, you know what I'm saying, and saying which one is better. They both sustain and fulfill two different needs. And I would say that the dinner portion would probably be the more traditional therapy, and the dessert would be the therapy that you get from art, whether you're a dancer, a singer, creative, or whatever. Even when you're an athlete, when I play soccer, it's therapy. I'm not thinking about nothing but being on the field and making everybody else look terrible. You feel me? So that's
because
a
I'm gonna
release,
because
and everything else
because I'm
gets
gonna
like
answer
alleviated.
last. Because I'm gonna answer last, I'm just gonna kind of answer what you're saying. And the only thing I would say back to that is for the people that got beat to submission and don't know how to talk, and the only thing they know is art. You feel me? For those people that don't even know how to turn to a therapist to say, "I need somebody to talk to," that didn't get to break that wall. We broke that wall a million miles back. But I'm just saying, for the people that only know art, for the people that only talk too much, for the people that don't know how to sit down and create anything, for both people and for the
Well,
ones in between, just to ask the
first,
generalized question.
I want to ask Chadio a question. How did you get introduced to the whole therapeutic situation?
uh
No, he
like
said it's too
how did I
far.
go to it or how did I
No,
start
you no,
going?
you told us how you went to it because of the breakup, but
Yeah.
was it like a friend? Did you just decide to go on Google? Like, what made you do it? Did you see an Instagram post? Like, what triggered the thought?
Just because like a lot of people in my friend circle have therapists and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I just
All right.
figured it might be the thing to do.
I asked,
'Cause
I asked that question not to get too deep, but just to preface this statement. I feel like because I had the same experience, I don't feel like most people like wake up and they're like, you know what, I need to go see a therapist today. It's usually introduced or presented by
Mhm,
someone who's either experienced it or just understands that there's benefits to go to it.
mhm.
So that being said, if you are silent and art is your only release, you still need to go. You just haven't had that person to introduce it to you yet. You feel me?
For sure.
And so basically, and I'll jump back into myself real quick to kind of answer for myself in general, but I felt like art was the better way through it because coming up as a child, they had to separate us. I'm second oldest of six kids. So they separated us in different rooms and had the counselor speak to us individually about what was going on in the house or why mommy was upset or what was going on. But point being is like I grew up to be an adult and all I knew to vent my emotions was music because I didn't really want to go back to what I felt like as a child to have somebody trying to decipher and partition my brain for what goes where and why I should be feeling what way. You feel me? And so, in a general way, from my perspective, art was better for me than what I just recently thought to maybe try again for the first time since a child. And so, I'm gonna see what that's like for me now. But I just want to see what everybody felt about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, personally to speak on, like I like Mambo's answer too because like it is like two different things. You know what I mean? Dinner and dessert. It's like you're gonna get different things out of both things. I feel like there's just something of like creating art isn't gonna give you that like talking to somebody who's been to school. Uh, to sort of like
And hopefully, I get the other side of the experience that I've been needing based on
Mhm.
what I haven't been trying for so long, and based on what you guys are saying.
And it's definitely something where it's like I feel like with anything in life, for real, it's about your receptiveness to it. Because if you go and say, all right, I'll try therapy, but in the back of your mind, you're like, I really don't take it seriously or care for it, or I'm not open to it, maybe changing a perspective or anything, then you're not really going to experience it. It's like if you go to an event and you anticipate you're not really going to have fun, you're going to find reasons not to have fun. As opposed to if you go with, you know what I mean? You got to have the mind and be ready to go there.
Have you been to
And
therapy?
Patron,
Hell
don't,
yeah, I have,
don't
for
say,
sure.
Patron, don't say dinner. Not, Go ahead.
D-Money, you have to, you said?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Have you ever been, Patrizi?
No, I've never been to into therapy.
You need to go, Patron.
No. That was, but I was gonna ask him. I
think everybody could benefit from it for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say he'd be the perfect person to ask, in my opinion. But in general, I was like, I don't think he's the type to really
I just
rely
think
on other people's opinions.
I think it gets a stigma that it's like you got to be crazy to go, and that's really just like it's like a chiropractor. Your back doesn't need to be broke. You don't need to go into a car accident to go see a chiropractor. Like everybody should go see a chiropractor. If you sleep on a regular bed, if you work a 9 to 5, if you drive your car for over a couple hours, it's a good idea to go see it. It's the same type of concept. You don't need like an injury to get led into it. You kind of just got to, you know what I mean? Go check it out.
I'm definitely not against it, man.
Right. You just never got around to it.